Surrounded by berry bushes, moss and green hills, my essence wondrously flows with the patterns of the lake. My arms arise to the sky like the sunrise. I can feel the sun kissing my face. Stars watch over me as I cuddle up to the sparks of the campfire. I'm dancing with myself, nature, and my community. I'm home. Surrounded by phones, trash and polluted roads, my body tenses up out of shame with the rest of the girls. My lungs embrace the scent of poisonous fuel. I squint my eyes as I watch the fluorescent lights flicker. Stars aren't visible here. Luminous pollution is blocking my view. All I can feel is the ignorance, consumption, struggle, perversion, and bad news. I'm draining, and so is nature and everyone around me. I'm home. I forage for mushrooms and fruits. I shop for junk and tasteless foods. I spend time looking at the Harlech mountains and sky, and waste time looking at how to act normal online. The superficial reality consumes me. I yearn for where I could live authentically.
Empty. The room is empty. My head is empty. But what does it mean to be empty? Is it the absence of something, the lack of a thing? No, I know empty. Empty is the words you speak. Empty is your capacity for empathy. Empty is my room. Empty is living. It is breathing. It takes up space. Empty is my way of life. Cold, filled to the brim with nothing. There has never been a moment where I look fine, filled with strife, and yet you continue to say I am fine. You bring me to a flower field, filled with something. There can be no empty here, you say. Fields of flowers surround, smells of sickly sweetness and a menagerie of colours are found. Sounds of birdsong echoing, bitter sweetness. Senses stimulating, head pounding, but you think I'm fine, so we carry on and we go somewhere else. There can be no empty here, you say. So we go on and on and on, finding empty wherever we go. The city, the roads, the shops, the schools, the fields, the trees, the cottages and the bees. There can be no empty here, you say, looking directly through my eyes, piercing my empty thoughts, seeing my messy room empty. Well, that's enough for today, I say, as I turn my back to the mirror, now leaving it empty.
A city on its last stand, abandoned, broken, free hopes, left alone, untouched. In the maroon city head, brimming briefcase bankers, heartless corporates, the inescapable windows, frosted glass, dungeon rooms, changing caricatures, 20 cloned. In the heart of the city, with big stained glass windows, a church overwhelmed with bold light inside, velvet's indigo abundance of filtered light. On the outskirts of the city, every other house has broken windows, webbed, fractured, translucent peacock feathers shattered. The line between outside and in has been blurred. A city on its last stand, abandoned, broken. Minds secluded, rose-tinted hearts, and the body injured. Rumbling stomachs knock on closed church doors.
How did growing up for you feel? I don't know. I will never know. You faced battles and you conquered them. You worked so hard so I could get there. I'm not a double agent. I've just switched sides to the other side of a fence. We went to similar primary schools, but at 11 our paths were different. When simplified, our schools appeared the same. London State School in Zone 5, but different. Carshalton, Romford. Church-funded, council-run. Expanding, closing. Mine had most students going to uni, and yours had only one. You. At 17, you were looking at unis. First gen, navigating freshers, living in halls with people like me. You learn the lingo, like 2-1 means pretty good. I'm 17, looking at unis. I knew I'd be the first in my family to study abroad. Zoom calls at 2 a.m, living in EST. APs, ECs, SAT. I'm learning the lingo, like period means full stop. Like you, I knew from a young age that I wanted something different to the people I know. I know the downsides, debt, guns, no alcohol, but I'm aware of them. No consultants, campus visits, no tutor, but I've got YouTube, textbooks, online tours. Yes, I'm working hard. Stop bringing it up. Look at the bigger picture. I can see opportunities for what I want to do and who I want to be. New York, LA, living my dream. For now, it's in my head, kept to myself. My family don't know, but they'll see my gallery of dreams one day. For now, I'm hiding textbooks, college fair tote bags, leaflets and PR. Bottom of my desk is where they are. Dreams locked behind my vision board, waiting to actually happen. My family can't see it, and I won't let them know, at least until I receive an offer for uni or a job. 2 17-year-olds lost, travelling home, a home carved out by them, but separated by a fence, and it feels so wrong. We want similar dreams, but different. Ivies, Russell Group, my dreams catch a plane and fly abroad. Your dreams are on a train close to home. Different, but both valid, whether 2.1 or 4.0. They're both pretty good.
In 2023, men and women are not paid the same. People of colour demanding equal pay, having to prove their skills. Women and people of colour are not cheap labour. It's upsetting that both genders aren't paid the same. In the 70s, people of colour couldn't rely on trade unions. They were repeatedly victims of inequality and racism. In 2023, why is there still so much inequality? This is supposed to be a time for change. I would be grateful to see some progress, and the gender and race pay gaps fairer and equal.
We were strong, we were calm, we were happy, we were at peace, until they showed up. Hey cutie, hey sugar, you have a nice figure, they would all say, and far worse. They left us feeling weak, they left us unsure, they left us sad, they left us vulnerable. The next day, we're scared, afraid, paranoid, reasonably paranoid of what could happen. They came back that same day. Hey good stuff, you're mighty fine, you could have a great time with me, they would all say, and far worse. Yet again, they left us weak, they left us unsure, they left us sad, they left us vulnerable. If only we had a voice, if only they could feel our pain. It's our bodies, our vessels, and not theirs to play and critique.
Not all men, but any man, in any place, she is not safe. Any man looking at her in a bar, any man who approaches her on the street, her taxi driver, her friend, her neighbour. They'd accuse me of hating men for never going out alone with a male friend, but being happy for a female friend to take me home. They'd say it's wrong for me to assume that even my friend is out to hurt me just because he's male. But I don't care if he's offended that I don't trust him. If I have to choose between his feelings and my safety, I will unapologetically choose myself. When I go out in the evening, I always wear a hoodie over my blouse, pull a neck scarf up till my nose bridge, clenched fists hidden in my pockets. I slouch, to my pole instructor's disgust, in the hopes that anyone who passes me will assume that I'm a man and leave me the f*** alone. Sometimes men ask, what can I do to make women feel safe if I'm walking behind them at night? It's difficult for them to stomach the truth. There is nothing they can do that will make me take my guard down. I know that I'm always in danger. The best they can do is keep their distance so she feels she has enough time to run away. It must be isolating to be assumed a threat, But if I have to choose between his feelings and my safety, I will always choose myself. Once, I was walking home from school, wearing my school uniform. A man who lived down the road asked me if I had a lighter. I lied, no. He invited me to come into his house, get to know each other. I ran the rest of the way home. I walked down the opposite side of the road now. A few years later, he attempted to talk to me again. We were near a packed bus stop. He turned towards me to say he liked my long hair. I gracefully embraced the compliment. I've cut it short since. Then he said he liked my eyes. I pretended I didn't hear. I wish I was a few years younger, he laughed. I told him, disgusted, I'm 16. I lied, hoping he'd leave me alone, reminding him he was a paedophile. He used to bother me in my school uniform. Our neighbours waiting for the bus heard, mothers staring at him with scowling faces. I didn't care he looked uncomfortable. When I have to choose between their feelings and my safety, I will always choose myself.
Red fire, rubble spitting out your mouth. Eyes, eyes, eyes like lips wide, ready to bite. Snapping at the eyes that don't look at you right. But I don't think that's quite true. I think your nose might not work. Search for breath through holes. I do not believe you hold a position like that by choice. I wonder what your morning looked like. You were clean cut and you f***ed with us and scared a woman, and that's not right. But I wonder what your morning looked like. Was it ajar? Did you look through a window, see sun, call your mum? Did you breathe different air from the evening? Smile at a child, work hard and late. Make an edgy turn on your way home, hit your head. Did that make you spit red? I know it's something sadder than that. The penetrating paranoia, making faces to ward off the bug-eyed. I do not know. I wish I knew.
I watched them all summer, smoking, his blue body burning under the English sun, a lost son of Glasgow rolling the papers with his thumb, which I had heard was often on the Australian girls' but he never talked about that stuff in front of me. Just a tyke I was. Something in between that South Bermondsey skyline and a smashed pint glass. I stood in the sun, in the rain, in the wind, go Panema and see the world. But the world was here, in the football crowds that came and the old white men who would lick their lips at my tits. They spoke to me like a child, but eyed my body as a woman. Something in between that South London skyline, and I can't deny that I grew up there, even if no one was watching me. I observed them in the kitchen, pissed out of their minds, the pains of men displayed to me in simple form. How's girls going for you, mate? I learnt about the way they talked about their women, their bodies and their Do you like girls? Yes, I do. Do you want to come inside? It's raining. Yes, I do. Do you want some cat? Yes, I do. To moving out again and moving on. I grew up there even if no one was watching me. Always flirting between the bar staff and the customers. I watched him all summer. I never want to be like you when I'm 27, but I'm scared because your dreams are mine. The world's a stage, yet here he will still stuck a slave in that kitchen. I never want to be like you when I'm 27, incapable of love and being loved. In his inexplicable moods and pains, he was often just a drunk, sorry sight, a broken man putting on a performance to no one but his riz and an empty pint. Some weeks it was too much. Some weeks I cried before I went. Some weeks I cried on the train back. Some weeks he just ignored me for 6 hours straight. 1 week a stripper came. 1 week a couple gave me their number for a threesome. It felt like a sick dream. I was on the cusp of losing my childhood and doing everything I've ever wanted to have done. I grew up there even if no one was watching me. Watching the sun swallow up this lost son of Glasgow, so sunken in a drowning blue. I sat in the sun, in the wind, in the rain, watching the fairy lights in the Bury fade, sunrise to sunsets. That was my entire world on summer Saturdays.
Chasing my shadow, you turn out the lights. Climbing walls backwards, you build them higher. Trying to chase steps you've long paved over. My skull a cluttered cavern. You fill it till it overflows with worry and doubt. My eyes waterfalls for pure salts to spill from. You ignore the streams rolling down my cheek. My pillow a plunge basin where all these salts gather. These are the metaphors I use to explain the pain you put me through. I guess to soften the blow, to paint it a little prettier, make it palatable. But to suffer and now view family a burden is never a palatable thing. But this is how I feel sitting at a family meal when I'm looking at siblings I'm treating as my kids. I'm 19, with a freelancing job. Yet you ask how much I make an hour. Not enough to support even myself alone, especially not enough to support my now broken home. You want to take part of me away and put him on a plane to a country where a life for him no longer remains, so now mine is put on pause. Forget my degree. Forget the little freelancing. Move back home, help mum. Forget friends, find a vice, get medicated. Oh, and also go to therapy every Friday because now I'm literally going insane. I'm losing my mind at the villainous element of uncertainty you've brought into my life. So many more elements to what you're doing to 5 kids and a mother, but I'll spare you the anecdotes and give you the statistics. We're not the only neglected family. 24,004 people entered immigration detention in the year ending June 2022. These 24,004 people aren't all deported, but during the time they are detained, their families are suffering and neglected to fend for themselves. Silently.
Boom. 5 years old, it's 2007. I'm starting primary school, first day of reception. My skin is black and my hair is coarse. Practically still a baby, but I have to force a smile on my face when everything feels wrong. Smile on my face and I have to stay strong. Despite my teachers as they demonize me and my classmates as they realize and copy. My teachers knew every detail of my home life. Could have given me guidance, but they pushed me aside. My crime was just talking, getting excited. They painted a box and then kept me inside it. My hand would go up, it would go overlooked. Wanted to be included, and so I got hooked. And I played into the role that they had made me. Can I remind you that I was only a baby? And I got on my shiny shoes. My mama squeezed my face. And my shirt's been ironed. And I'm trying as hard as I can not to lose faith in this place. Gotta keep my guard up instead of just learning. Keep my guard up because I'm learning. 17 years old, it's 2019. I volunteered to read to kids in the nearby primary. In reception again, the kids seem so small. They're trying their hardest, I want to protect them all. There's a girl on the carpet, black skin, coarse hair. She looks at my face, she can't believe I'm there. And she squirms as she learns cause she can't sit still. Neither can the others, but the teacher's shrill voice yells at her and her alone. On your bottom! Have the other kids gotten forgotten? Of course not, but for them it's a simple mistake. When a black girl does it, it's a malicious mistake. Darling, sit still. And it's no surprise, the girl she says it's to has blonde hair and blue eyes. Why she treated so kind? What's happening in this adult woman's mind? And I got on my shiny shoes. My mama squeezed my face. And my shirt's been ironed. And I'm trying as hard as I can not to lose faith in this place. Gotta keep my guard up instead of just learning. Keep my guard up because I'm learning. I look at the first girl and I see myself. I still feel the pain from the lack of help. The assertions made on my behalf. To them, can't sit still equals can't be smart. I say to her, hey, should we read a book? She has to catch her breath, her worldview's been shook. Someone's asked her choice, asked for her opinion, offered kindness and help instead of taking dominion. I give her a smile, but she looks away. It's the first time she's been quiet today. She takes my hand and pulls me to the book corner. Picks up her book and I begin to read for her. She's asking questions, she's super engaged. I give her the task of turning the page. I say to her, so smart, great question. Now for me it's routine, but for her young perception, she instantly does not know what to do. I know how hard it is to take one when compliments are few. She doesn't smile, she doesn't look proud. She wants to but thinks that she's not allowed. You know, you're one one of the hardest workers that I've ever met. Should we go and tell your teacher so that you don't forget? Finally, she smiles at me for the first time. She's just trying for acceptance but keeps getting declined. I choose in that moment to make it a big deal, to show her that her effort is appreciated and real.
Oh my goodness, miss, she's been
What now? Can't sit still for a minute. I swear to God, this child
is trying so hard. I'm really impressed. I thought to tell her teacher would be the best.
Oh, yes, well done. I take the girl away and distract her with fun. 2 girls, 2 stories, 12 years apart. Black girls, white teachers, a prejudice buried deep in their hearts. 2 girls, 2 stories that were just the same. I felt her pain, but I kept my mouth shut, and now I have to live with that shame. In not reporting those actions, I became an accomplice. I'm complicit. I'm just as bad as her teachers, but my role in her story is just slightly less explicit. If I had used my words, we could have had just one less girl whose intelligence gets ignored by the system. But now I'm implicit. And I got on my shiny shoes. My mama squeezed my face, and my shirt's been ironed, and I'm trying as hard as I can not to lose face in this place. Gotta keep my guard up instead of just learning. Keep my guard up because I'm hurting. Whoa.